When FDR came to power, the first thing he said is the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, all right? The only thing we have to fear is fear itself, meaning don't worry, right? Everything will be better. With his New Deal legislation, he created the first 100 days. And basically, this is what a president will do within the first 100 days, and that's going to set the tone or standard for the rest of his presidency. Now, he called on Congress into a special session, right, because Congress only meets so often throughout the year. So he called them into a special session to start fixing the problems of the Great Depression. He pushed for important bills, and they were based off of three things: relief, recovery, and reform. So the New Deal programs that he creates under, his term or his presidency are going to be based off of relief, recovery, and reform. Now, under relief, you're going to have short-term actions, right? It's nothing that's going to last for a long time. Again, these are short-term actions. The first thing you're dealing with is the banking crisis. So we have a bank holiday. The government made sure the bank was stable to give people the confidence in the bank. Remember, once banks started to fail, people started to try to go back and take their money out of the banks, and it was no longer there. So that is going to decrease the confidence in banks. Homeowners and farm owners gave them emergency loans, right? That's what we gave them, emergency loans. And the unemployed, they created emergency public jobs, right? So all these new jobs were created through the New Deal, or through this relief legislation. Now, the first one would be the Federal Emergency Relief Act of 1933. It funded state and local governments to provide emergency relief, like right now. The CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps of 1933, gave jobs to young men and planted trees and cleaned up forests. So this was just men from 18 to 21. This program was created specifically for them. The PWA, the Public Works Administration of 1933, created federal jobs by building public projects like schools and roads and public buildings. And then the WPA, the Works Progress Administration, is 1935. This created jobs by hiring artists and writers and musicians to paint murals and produce plays and to create other artworks, right? That's the Works Progress Administration. And in class, I'll be showing y'all different things that we have around Texas and Laredo that were created during this time through these projects. Now, recovery is based on an incentive, right? Incentives, which is something good that you get out of something that you do. Priming the pump was putting government money in the hands of the consumers, right? Kind of giving them like a bonus so they can spend, and the more you spend, the more money the businesses make, which means the more people they can hire, and it starts the economy. The Agricultural Adjustment Act, the AAA, there's two of them for a reason. The first one, governments paid farmers to plant less in hopes of increasing crop prices, and this one was actually found unconstitutional, so we'll be going over that as well, as to some of these programs that have too much power. The second AAA, the government ended up buying farm surpluses, which is when farmers make too much food, and stored them until prices went up. So we'll be going over the two Agricultural Adjustment Acts in class. And the National Recovery Administration, 1933, it asked businesses to follow codes that set standard prices, production limits, and minimum wages. And it was also found unconstitutional. And basically because the government cannot tell you how to run your business. Okay? And the last one here is reform. It was aimed to fix the defects in the American economy. Of course, the FDIC is created, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. It insured bank deposits so that people would not lose their savings if a bank failed. So this is to give more confidence to people putting their money into the banks. The FDIC, and we still have this to this day. The Tennessee Valley Authority, 1933, built 21 dams along the Tennessee River to control floods and produce electricity. Some believed it was a form of socialism, the government having too much power. The National Labor Relations Act, also known as the Wagner Act, gave workers the right to form unions, right, to fight for their rights. The Security and Exchange Commission, 1934, created to watch over the stock market, prevent fraud, and to guard others against another crash. And of course, the last one, the Social Security Act, 1935. It's the most important measure, and it provided unemployment, old age pensions, and insurance if they died early. The Social Security Act. So we still have the Securities and Exchange Commission, we still have the Social Security Act, and the FDIC. These are the three most important laws that came out of the New Deal. Now, if you have any questions, you let me know.